Welcome to episode 194 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary with Kristen
and Catherine, where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for our virtual book club where we take one book a month and dive into all of the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Catherine.
So, this week, we wanted to talk about a new book coming out because we're super excited about it. So, next Tuesday, the 18th of November? That's correct. Right?
I think it's the 7th. Yeah, 18th. You're right.
Okay, yeah. So, Tuesday coming.
Mm-hmm.
Brimstone by Callie Hart is coming out. And if you've been reading along with us, you'll know that we did Quicksilver in January and fell in love with it.
We did.
Spoiler alert. It's not Friday at the moment. This is not live. But I definitely am going to be doing a reread before next Tuesday because I feel like I actually did see a reel today that reminded me it was coming out next week. Mm-hmm. And it was like, all I remember from Quicksilver is that she has a fox. And then like all of the comments were people being like, I completely forgot she had a fox. And I was like, man.
So can I just say, so as you were saying that, I was thinking in my head, I must have reread it at some point because everything is crystal clear in my head.
Oh, really?
Yes. And that never, ever happens. Like, I don't remember what happened last week. And for some reason, with clarity, I remember everything.
Funny.
I don't understand it at all.
Because that does not normally happen with books.
Never happens. And, like, I'm literally going through my Rolodex right now. And I remember all of it. Now, do I remember every single person's name? No. Apart from, like, the main couple.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, no. I remember, like, have I reread it? I must have reread it. I'm going to check my story graph and see when the last time I read it was. Because, like, this is unheard of for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am, like, stoked. I keep saying that Quicksilver is actually my book of the year. Like, it's my favorite book that I read this year.
Yeah. It must have come out last year, did it?
I think it came out, I think it came out, like, mid-year last year. Like, I don't think it was a late release.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas.
Because I remember seeing a lot about it.
Mm-hmm. June 3rd, 2020.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot about it before picking it up. So, yeah.
Yeah, I did too, especially since people were, like, talking about the cover and stuff.
Yeah, so anyway, I just, like, I'm really...
Did you reread it?
I'm still scrolling to try and find it. I gotta get through, like, all... Oh, there it is. Nope. Apparently I didn't.
Huh.
What have I done?
It's just in there.
Why do I remember that one so much? Maybe could it be because I read it back to back? Like, because I read it for the podcast to do notes, but I also read it on my own first. So, like, maybe just reading it, like, twice in a row maybe cemented some things in my head. I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, like, I am super excited. I hear a lot of people are, like, taking the day, like, and we've done that before too.
Yeah.
Taken the day. We did it with Iron Flame.
Yeah.
I don't think I can this time. I can't for Brimstone, even though I would really like to, because I might have to do, like, a working group where I make a new curriculum and, like, I can't really take a day from that.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so it's unfortunate, but yeah, I also want to, like, hype the Callie Hart's, like, social media or production team or whoever she's got going on there. So if you go to Callie Hart, I'm assuming it just Instagram. I see it sometimes I see it on my Facebook reels, but it's all the same. But yeah, so, like, There's a countdown. There are clips with little dialogue. Yeah, there's like clips with dialogue and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's, yeah, there it is. Hang on. Okay. So they do like AI generated like images and like little tiny clips to go along with it, which is really cute.
Yeah. It's funny because I haven't seen it at all, but
yeah, they're really hyping the like the release itself.
Yeah.
So like this was where it started. So 14 days is where it started.
Okay.
And like it's a really cute little animation there. There's a more of a countdown. Here's a little, you can't really hear it, but like there's like one of the AI things that I'm talking about. Oh, she's got oh look, there's another video of her showing us the book itself. Ooh. Yeah. So it's really cute. So like they're doing a great job, in my opinion, of hyping the book and doing like a countdown and stuff. So like I'm really excited about it. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the hype.
Yeah. It's just so funny because I'm not going to lie. I haven't seen anything. Like, I almost forgot it was, well, I didn't forget it was coming out. But November has really snuck up on me. But I think, like, that reel about the fox was, like, the first one I've seen about the new book. And I was like, oh, shit, yeah, that book is coming out.
I keep getting the emails because I pre-ordered it. Mm-hmm. So I keep getting emails being like, hey, your book's at the warehouse. It's coming soon. Or like, hey, just a reminder that your order is going to be shipped soon. So I keep getting emails. So I'm like, yeah. I literally was in the staff room the other day and I was like, yes! And everyone was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, the book I pre-ordered. I was like, it's coming soon.
Did you order it through Amazon?
No.
Where'd you order it?
Indigo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't get those emails.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, could it be showing up in your spam? I know this is weird conversation for us to be having at the beginning.
No, it's just funny because I've never gotten emails like that. Oh, I do have a package coming today, though, now that I look at my emails. I wonder what it is. Interesting.
Yeah, so like from Indigo customer service, there's an update. Good things are coming your way. The following items that you from your order are in our warehouse and are in transit to our store.
I don't. I wonder if I set something up so that they only send me. Yeah, I only have like thanks for your order and good news, your order is shipped.
Oh, but see, well, I guess I have in-store pickup.
Oh, that could be different, yeah.
Because I was worried about getting it late. Because I find a lot of times with Indigo especially, maybe not so much Amazon, but I do find it with Amazon too sometimes. I've never been that lucky where I get a book early.
Yeah, I did.
I know you did. And I'm so happy for you, but angry that I didn't also get it. But like,
yeah.
I find I've never been that lucky where I get a release book early. Therefore, I would rather, like most times if I get a book directly shipped to me, they're not shipping it until the release date, meaning I don't get it until a few days after that, and I don't like that. I want it the day of, so I pick in-store pickup so that I can just go grab it.
Yeah, I get that, because, like, so Bonds of Hercules came out a few weeks ago, and I pre-ordered it, and I was like, hopefully I get it, but it hadn't even started shipping until 2 days after it came out, which I was like, what the fuck is this garbage? And then I had completely finished the book, and still 4 more days before it actually showed up. So that was annoying.
Yeah.
but I'm always hopeful that like a book will just come a bit early. But I'm probably gonna just have to go buy this book in store, and then I'll end up with 2 copies of it. I'll just bring one back, or if somebody wants a copy. I don't know if Lily's actually buying it or if she has it on her Kindle. So, but yeah, I'm so excited to read it. I might listen to Quicksilver, the book, this week, just to remind myself.
Yeah, and for some reason, I don't need that reminder.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
I really feel like there's something going on with me.
In a good way?
No, like this doesn't feel weird. This feels weird for my brain.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. So we're super excited. We just wanted to say that. Hopefully this time next week when we're recording next week's episode, we might have things to say about it. We might not, because we might be still deep in it.
Yeah. I'd say we'll probably still be reading it, but we'll see.
Yeah. We'll let you know.
Yeah. We always let you know.
So I guess we will get into this week's book, or this month's book, sorry. So just a heads up. This is not a spoiler-free zone, and things might get saucy. Mm-hmm. So we are reading Gild by Raven Kennedy. Last week we met our main character, Auren, who is a saddle, aka a hired whore, I'm just saying it, of King Midas. And she is his favorite. He has gold touched her, so now her skin is gold, her hair is gold, her eyes are gold, everything is gold, except for her teeth, essentially. No one else, and I guess because she is such an anomaly and so valued by the king, he keeps her locked in a gilded cage. She's got plenty of room to roam around, though.
Yeah, it's like he loves her so much, he put her in a cage.
Yeah, to protect her.
Jesus.
I know. And none of the other saddles, aka hired whores, that Midas likes to have sex with, they don't like her. His queen also doesn't like her.
She doesn't like any.
She doesn't like any of them,
like...
but really doesn't like her. So we find out that Midas is trying to broker an agreement with a neighboring king, King Fulke, and wants control, or not control, but wants to partner up and use King Fulke's army to invade a neighboring kingdom. Now, the premise is that this neighboring kingdom is bad, and the king of that kingdom is depraved and evil, and they want to liberate it, and blah, blah, blah. But realistically, they just want the resources for themselves. So in order to get this agreement, King Midas has agreed to give King Fulke a night with Auren, and she is not happy about it. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I really don't know what else there is to say. She's mad about it, but there is nothing she can do about it, because apparently he owns her and can do what he wants with her. And he does it with his other saddles. He gives them to dignitaries for a night of sex, and they just have to smile and be okay with it.
Great.
So yeah, we got some really great prostitution going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really know. Was that enough of a synopsis for last week?
I think so. It covers it
yeah.
all.
So the so this book is like way shorter than
some books
that we've done. Yeah. So it's hard to remember. Not remember. Like, I remember what happens, but like it's hard to. It all bleeds together. So it's sometimes hard to remember like what was last week and what's this week. Anyway. So this week we are reading chapters 9 to 13. So we start this week with Auren, obviously with Auren. And she has to get ready because tonight is the night that she's going to be given to King Fulke, just for the evening, not like permanently. And there's like a ball, essentially. So she has to get ready for the ball. And it's one of the very few times that she's actually like getting let out of her cage, which is like a bonus. But I think she actually says later that like she likes, like, not that she likes being in the cage, but that like in this sense, because she's like essentially being brought to her doom, she wants to stay in her cage. She doesn't want to be let out. But like this poor girl, like, she thinks she's in love with him.
Yeah, it's classic abusive relationship where he's really manipulated her and she's like, but I love him. And it might be your mug, but I just think of The Little Mermaid.
I have a Belle mug right now.
Yeah, but it just made me think of The Little Mermaid, and it's like, but I'm 16 and I love him.
Yeah. I'm 16 years old. I'm not a child.
Oh, babe.
Yes, you are. Anyway, so she's like super anxious and agitated, and she's like pacing her cage, and it just reminds me of like a caged tiger. You know what I mean? And like, I hope she develops, and I know we've read like 3 books in the series, but I hope she like develops that fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because right now she's taken a very passive backseat to her life, essentially. So
yeah, she's like, it's better than it was once, because like she's got a sad backstory.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah. So she thinks that her armies, or not her armies, but Midas's army and Fulke's army must have reached the 4th kingdom by now. But she thinks that, like, Midas and Fulke are actually crazy to attack King Ravager. That's the king of 4th kingdom. And, like, she thinks that he has a reputation for being malicious, and that he also lets wickedness flourish in his kingdom. And Auren just thinks, like, oh, he's pure evil. So we're sort of, like, not spoiling anything, but we're sort of getting very much, like, Rhys, like, High Lord of the Night Court. He's evil. His entire Court of Nightmares is evil. Like, the Night Court is all evil, blah, blah, blah. So, like...
Rot is evil, darkness
is evil. So I feel like, and again, I haven't even seen that part of the kingdom... I have a feeling that that is very much a ruse.
Yeah. Yeah. Where we stopped reading, we had never been to 4th.
Correct. So yeah. So in my brain, that is a super a ruse, very like a la Night Court thing. And I feel like it's actually quite happy there. And they don't oppress people.
What?
So she hopes that Midas knows what he's doing, because... if Ravager, like, beats him and wins, then no amount of money will bail him out of trouble, because it seems like that's what Midas does, right? Because he has, quote-unquote, the gold touch. He can just buy his way out. He can just bribe people with, like, riches beyond their wildest dreams.
Yeah.
But she doesn't think Ravager would be swayed by that. And she thinks that, like, Midas has really surrounded himself with wealth. That, like, the entire castle used to be, like, a stone castle and wood, it, like, made of stone and wood. Now it is completely made of gold. And, like, even the toilets are gold. Yeah. And so, like, she thinks that their wealth has become meaningless. And, like, they just take for granted that they have it.
It's so funny, because... didn't Trump just make a gold toilet?
Yeah, something like that.
I try not to look at too much of it because, dear God, I can't. But
Yeah. No, I know.
it's just timing.
But yeah, so then she thinks that, like, the queen also takes advantage of it, like, so much so that, like, she's got, like, she walks around on gold satin slippers. Like, the queen is also a product of it. But she also thinks, like, maybe the reason Melina hates her is because Midas chose to gold touch Auren and call her precious, not Melina.
It is funny that it's Precious, too, that he calls her, because it just makes me think of Lord of the Rings.
Yes! Oh my god. Yes. Yeah. But, like, also, it sort of gives me, Rapunzel, Mother Gothel, whatever her name is, those vibes, because she never calls, well, she does call her Rapunzel, but when she's being loving, she calls her Flower.
Yeah.
Because it's the flower that gives her eternal youth. So there's, like, this hypothesis that Mother Gothel, because, like, that was sort of a thing that came out, was like, oh, it seems like she does care about her in her own way, but all the affection is always focused on the hair. So, like, when she kisses her, it's always kisses her on the top of the head where the hair is, calling her Flower because that's what she thinks of Rapunzel. She is, like, her life-giving flower. So I sort of, it sort of reminds me of that. Like, he is focusing on the fact that she is precious, not because of who she is, but because of what she looks like, and, like, the fact that she is what she is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she also knows that, like, even if she were to try and repair the relationship with Melina, like, the jealousy has been festering for 10 years and it's not changing. Yeah. And, like, Melina, she also thinks that, like, Melina doesn't realize that being gold touched isn't all it's cracked up to be. So, and she says that she thinks that, like, and she then explains why it's not all it's cracked up to be, because she says no one sees her as anything other than golden skin and golden hair. Like, she's a fixture to be seen and not heard, and a commodity to be bought for a night. So she is really, like, rightfully so. I am not at all judging her, but, like, she is very much fixated on the fact that she feels like currency. And I guess that feeling, like, yeah, sure, if I were to be, like, sold for an evening, I would also feel like currency. But I guess because her skin is gold, which is an actual form of currency, she feels it maybe, like, times 10.
Yeah.
So, like, she very much, and, like, I don't even know how it would feel to feel like a commodity. You know what I'm saying? Like, how torn must you feel to feel like that? Anyway, so, like, I guess, I think Digby comes in and says, like, hey, time to get ready. So she gets dressed, and the dress Midas had delivered for her is see-through and, like, essentially leaves nothing to the imagination. And it also has, like, these really, really high slits up the leg, and, like, she's not wearing, or I don't know if she's not allowed to, but she's not wearing any underwear, any undergarments.
Yeah.
So essentially it's providing easy access, so, like, anybody could slip in.
Yeah, and anybody can see her, which I just found kind of surprising, because I really thought that he was more...
Protective is not a good word.
Like, possessive?
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Like, I'm surprised as well. But I guess, has to keep up appearances. So, she's obviously not feeling the dress. She feels, like, naked and very, exposed. So she decides to use her ribbons to wrap around the dress and enhance it and make her slightly more modest. Like, she's not gonna, like, fall out of the dress now. So guards arrive to escort her to the ballroom, I think, and she admits that she hasn't been let out of her room in months. And usually, if she is ever let out, it's mostly to just, like, have a private dinner with Midas or stand behind his throne as, like, a symbol of his wealth. So, like, other than that, she doesn't get let out.
Yeah.
So she's escorted by the guards, and she's got, like, 4 guards around her. And she keeps thinking that, like, he asked her to trust him. And while she understands that she does need to trust him, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm not going to be a mouse about it. Like, she's not just going to cave. And then we sort of get a flashback. So I find that, like, my section anyway is a lot about their beginnings of their relationship.
Yeah.
So she remembers walking through this castle at the age of 15 and how it felt. And she says that she wasn't a girl because she had no innocence left. But it wasn't because she gave it away. It's because it was taken from her one piece at a time. So essentially, and we do delve into that in later books, that she, like, just that sentence alone, you can probably guess that she was raped.
Yeah.
At what an age? I don't know. I don't remember that.
No. Do you remember? Was she 5 when she when she was stolen, raided from her family or something?
It could have been.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I can't 100% remember, but, like, I wonder if it was because she was sold a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it had, like, she lived as a, like, indentured servant, essentially. So I wonder if it happened, like, was she sold, not sold, but was she bartered for an evening the same way she's sort of being bartered now?
Yeah.
I don't 100% remember the circumstances surrounding her rape, but
yeah, I don't know if we get more information on.
I don't know I don't know if we do this book. I do know that we get more information about it. I just don't remember when.
Yeah.
So she says that her innocence was, like, taken from her. So, like, again, we know that she dealt with a lot of shit as a child. But Midas actually brought back trust for her, like, taught her how to trust again. And then she, like, does a flashback remembering him telling her his plans on making a marriage offer to the princess of the Sixth Kingdom, so, like, 10 years ago. And she thinks that they were camping outside in the freezing cold because they're in the north, so, like, it's all very chilly. And she thinks that her heart broke a little bit when he told her that, because I guess she thought maybe they would be together.
Yeah.
And she asked why he would do that. And he tells her that the kingdom is broke and that they don't have any farming or mining to sustain them because it's too cold for farming and I guess no mines. And they have little or no trade or allies with the other kingdoms. And Midas says he's surprised that another kingdom hasn't already struck and, like, invaded and taken over. But I guess nobody wants a frozen wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
Then we learn that Midas is 7 years older than Auren. So at the time, she is 15, he is 22.
She said, like, the first time she came to the castle, she was 15. So, like, did they meet and all of this develop within, like, it seems like anytime it talks about them, it's that they've known each other for 10 years. So, like, they didn't even have a whole lot of bonding time before she came to the castle, it doesn't seem.
I do wonder, though, if they did know each other before she turned 15. But maybe that's when the nature of their relationship changed.
Yeah.
And, like, 15 is not an acceptable age for a 22-year-old to have sex with. But, like, is it, for readers, is it slightly more palatable than, like, 14? Or 13?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe they were companions before the age of 15, but then maybe 15 is when their relationship turned physical. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way,
it's not great.
It's gross. And you know what? So it actually, if you've listened to the show before, you might know that I am a fan of Judge Judy. And So I watch on YouTube, you can watch a ton of, like, just Judge Judy cases in a row. It is shocking how many, like, a lot of it is, you know, it's car accident stuff or, like, vandalism. But then on the other end, it's two people that broke up and now they want their stuff. Or, like, so-and-so has to pay rent or whatever. You would be shocked at how many wide age gaps there are. Like, a girl is, like, 19 now. And she's like, yeah, we were together for 3 years. And the guy's, like, 27.
Ugh.
Like, there's so many cases. And it's like, and the parents are just standing there, like the parents are in there as witnesses to, like, help their child with the case. And, like, it's ridiculous. Like, why on earth would you let your, like, 16-year-old child date a 22, 23-year-old?
Yeah.
Like, it's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how old was I? I was 18, and I dated a 23-year-old, and I thought, like, that was, like, my parents were not a fan of that either.
Yeah.
So, like, I just find it, like, obviously in this instance, there are no parents to object, but, like...
Yeah, and it's a bit... I just feel like it's a bit different in this world, too, because they're both just, like, dying in the cold. Whereas in our world, I guess it's even weirder because, like, when you're 18, you're not even old enough to drink yet. Like, you can't go down to bars and shit. No. To be dating somebody who's 23, they've been out able to drink and do all that for 4 years. Like, you're just in different... I just can't imagine dating someone that, like, who's not at the same level of life. And yeah. I get, like, when you get older, I feel like age gaps don't make as much of a difference because you're, like, depending on the amount of the age gap, obviously. Yeah. But, like, Jeff is 3 years older than me now, but that's nothing because, like... We're both adults. We both have jobs. We're like, you know what I mean?
It's about circumstance, I think, more so than age. Once you reach, like, your mid-20s and, like, you know, you do have a stable job and you are working on the home and or, like, getting your house stuff together and, like, you are, like, then you're sort of at that stage of your life for, you know, until you retire, really. You're doing the same sort of a thing. But, like, here, you're in college... or university or high school. Like, why would an adult want that? In my brain, like, the only reason an adult would want that is for, like, manipulation and nefarious purposes. Yeah. Like, I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was this guy, and, like, I don't understand why the guy decided... I don't know, honestly, I feel like it was. This guy posted... And, like, he was a decent-looking guy. Like, you know, all those, like, TikTok, like, men, like, oh, look how handsome I am. So, like, he was a decent-looking guy. But then his post was, like, 41 years old and started dating a 19-year-old because I thought I was done having kids. And then it cut to his... girlfriend / fiance or whatever their relationship was holding their baby who's like a couple years old now.
Oh my god.
And
a couple years old.
Yeah, so I don't know if the intention of the video was like he was 41 and she was 19 when they got together and now maybe she's 21. I don't know. But like I don't understand why a 41-year-old would want to date a 19-year-old in any respect.
No.
Like I don't care how. And, like, what we read about, like, we read about, like, the silver fox, like, daddy thing, like, I'll read about that all day long. But, like, in real life...
But I don't, like, I'll read age gap romances.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But normally, I know, but not when the woman is a teenager. I still don't read that, really. Other than,
vampire.
Like, the fucking 500-year-old vampire bullshit. But, like, I don't even really read that as much anymore other than SJM, which I just pretend that they're older because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why couldn't we have made them in their 20s? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I like...
Yeah, like, most of my, like, I've read some age gap ones, like, you know, you've got some guilty pleasures, like, you know, the college student with the professor sort of a thing. I've, you know, like...
Vampire
Academy.
Which is my guiltiest pleasure.
So, like, but again, what I read, and it's, you know, one of those things where what you read, you know that that's not real. Like, what you're willing to accept in literature is wildly different than what you're willing to accept in real life.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, like, this whole thing of, like, people who are, like, in their late 30s and 40s. And again, I'll say, I saw another thing on TikTok. It's this guy who does TikTok lives and, like, invites conservatives. Like, he's, like, super left. And he invites, like, super right conservatives on to, like, debate. And I don't even remember what they were debating, but it was this 45-year-old guy debating, and I guess the dean is his name, was debating with him and got a hold of his Instagram and looked at everybody he's following, and he said, "Why are you only following college girls? Like, literally everyone on here is a college girl. Why are you following exclusive? Why are you just following college girls? You're too old for that shit. Why are you following college?" Anyway, the guy had no response and would just, like, try and deflect and do other things. But it's like, why are you following college girls? Like, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've spent a lot of time on this, but, like...
No, but it's important because, like, when you're 14, 15, 16, like, even I was 12 dating a 16-year-old. That was fucking weird too, looking back on it. But when you're those ages, you think you're an adult, you think you know.
Yes. And,
like, obviously this is textbook, he's a shitty partner. Mm-hmm. But this is the grooming. She was groomed by him, and that's how she ended up in this situation. And I kind of appreciate the writing of the book for how transparent it is.
Yeah, it is.
About that situation.
I will say that it is very clear on the grooming and manipulation that exists for us as readers. Mm-hmm. It's not like, and I said it before and I'll say it again. When I first read ACOTAR, some people saw the red flags right away. I was not one of those people. I read through it the first time and I was like, "Aw," and I was, but like,
but it's the same as, like, you can read any book and like we were just talking obviously when we started about Quicksilver, red flags galore, but who cares? We loved it. So it's like, if the next book then is like, and she's with somebody else because he's a piece of shit, then you're gonna go back and be like, "Oh, I get it." Yeah. But if that doesn't happen in a series, you're not gonna go back. Like Rowan and Aelin, he punched her in the face.
Yes.
Like, I just think there's so many books that if you're not gonna change the love interest, you're never gonna go back and question the red flags.
Yeah. But I guess that's the thing. So, like, you know, it was not transparent by design. You know what I mean? Like, she purposefully made you think, oh, yeah, her and Tamlin. Like, that was an intentional choice by the author to sort of, while make the red flags sort of there, but make them a little muddy. A little, well, I can look past it as a reader. Whereas in this book, it is very clear the red flags exist.
Yeah.
And it makes them very transparent for us as readers to understand. And, like, we know he is not our love interest for this book.
Yeah. And especially, like, I do appreciate that the main character is 25.
Yes.
But it does feel like, because of him, she's been stunted.
Yes. She feels very, very naive. And, I mean, part of that, too, is she lives... cage. She's been living in a cage for God knows how many years.
Yeah. So, like, I don't blame her for that. I blame him 100%.
Oh, God, yes.
But, yeah, it is interesting. Like, she's 25, but she does feel young.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, guys. Sorry.
Anyway, so I guess we'll go back to Gild now. So after sort of we're still in this flashback of Midas being 22 and her being 15, and she asks at that time he's like, I'm gonna propose marriage to the princess of the Sixth Kingdom, and she's like, well, what about me? And he reminds her that he promised her that she would stay with him always, and that with her by his side they'll save the Sixth Kingdom from ruin. So he's essentially saying, yeah, I'm still gonna marry this bitch, but like, you'll still be with me.
But you're mine.
Yeah.
Like,
just because I marry someone else doesn't mean I don't love you. Isn't that what people say when they're like having an affair?
Yeah. It just really pisses me off because I'm like, obviously we're not supposed to like the queen, but I do feel bad for her because she's getting fucked over too. Like, it just...
Yep.
Women have a hard life in this book.
Women constantly getting fucked over. So I guess in 15-year-old her's head, she knows that he trusts her with his dreams and his vulnerabilities, and that he's just a good guy and he wants to save a kingdom and its people. So like he's trying to be a hero.
Yeah, it's all hero related.
Yeah.
I did read I don't know if it was like at the beginning of this book or like in a little blurb or something, but it was talking about how the book is just about like the greed of like the characters, and it's just like, I don't know, so glaringly obvious on this reread. And it's obviously, if you're reading a book and you're getting ready to talk about it, you're gonna like look more into things. But it's just wild. It's wild.
Yeah. So she's like still not really feeling it at the age of 15 about him like marrying someone else, but he reminds her that the princess will have his name, but Auren will have his heart. Blech.
Blech.
And then he makes love to her, aka
makes love.
Yep, aka he rapes her before Auren comes back to herself walking through the castle.
But she's the one in her head, because obviously we're in her head. She's saying they made love because that's what she thinks it is, and it's like, no, you were 15.
Yeah.
That's not making love. That is rape.
Anyway, so she like sort of comes out of her memory and she is escorted into the ballroom, and there's like a ton of people there. There's like over 200 people there. And they're dancing and there's drinking and there are saddles everywhere, aka like owned prostitutes. And they are providing lewd entertainment. And that sort of shows Auren that the party's been on the go for a while. So, like, she hasn't even been able to, like, be there for a good amount of the time. So she says that, like, she can see there are people having sex against a wall, and then there's another couple on the dance floor. 2 guys are sharing a saddle, like, between them, and, like, touching her lewdly. So, like, there's just a ton of debauchery going on at this party. Mm-hmm. So Midas is sitting on the throne, on a raised dais at the end of the room, and as soon as Auren, like, walks in, he locks eyes with her and spots her. So the queen is not present at this party, but Auren thinks that that's probably because Midas has 3 saddles paying attention to him. But they're not, like, doing anything, but the girls are topless.
Yeah.
So they're just topless. 2 of them are sitting on each arm of his throne. One of them is kneeling at his feet. Just topless. Because, you know, that's fun. So King Fulke is also sitting on a throne on the dais besides Midas, and he has Rissa on his lap. So it seems like Rissa is like his, not his favorite, but like the one I guess his favorite, but besides Auren.
Yeah.
So Midas then makes an announcement to the crowd that tonight they're celebrating the strength of the Sixth Kingdom. And Auren thinks that, oh, they must have been successful in their attack of the Fourth Kingdom. And then Midas continues and says that it wouldn't have been possible without their alliance with the Fifth Kingdom and King Fulke. And then he tells Fulke that, as promised, he gifts Fulke a knight with his gold touched favored and commands Auren to come forward. And obviously everyone, like, sort of stops the party and is staring at her as she, like, walks up to the throne. And, like, she knows that they're, like, making comments and thinks, like, she's viewed as a trinket. She's not viewed as a woman right now.
Yeah.
So she goes up to the dais and Midas comments on her dress and, like, what she did to it with her ribbons. And she thinks that he disapproves, but he does brush her cheek the way that he used to do. So, like, sort of reminding her of her feelings for him. And he tells her that she is spectacular. And then he asks her to be a good girl. And she thinks, like, she's just being asked to sit pretty and behave. And she feels really bitter about it. And, like, rightfully so.
Yeah.
So she just says, yes, my king, and he tells her to sit with King Fulke because they owe him a debt that needs to be repaid. And she feels like a walking coin. And I don't know. I don't even know where to begin to unpack this.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I did, but I really, like, I have no idea how to unpack this.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is just transactional. And, like, for 10 years, at least, she's been in love with him. And it's just sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we sort of already touched on it, like, how it must feel to be, like, just a walking commodity. But, anyway. So, after telling her that, Midas goes back to what he was doing and, like, completely dismisses her, essentially. And has his saddles surround him again. He starts chatting with some of the nobles. And just, like, sort of leaves her to go do what she's supposed to. So Auren approaches Fulke with her head high because she doesn't want people to see how much she doesn't want to do this, especially Fulke. And she thinks, like, if he knew how much she didn't want this, it would make him want her more instead of lose interest in her. Because he's a piece of shit. Essentially, piece of shit. So she made the decision last night that no matter what happened, she would handle it. And that saddles are forced to give away their bodies all the time to people they don't like every day. And essentially, she's endured worse.
That doesn't make it
No,
better.
it does not. But it's where she's at right now.
I hate it.
And she's also trying to, like, hype herself up and be like, Midas is growing his empire. Essentially, like, it's her duty to do this as his partner, essentially.
Yeah.
And, like, he's ridding Aurea of a terrible king, King Rot, and that's because one night with her is worth an army. So she's trying to, like, be like, hey, one night with me is worth an entire army. Like, how awesome is that in her brain? She's trying to try and, like, get her on board by doing, hey, look, that's pretty good. Like, but I don't think it helps.
No. It's not going to change the fact that she's about to be raped multiple times by a man that she finds disgusting.
Yeah.
Because he covets her.
Yeah.
And is gross.
Yeah. So, Fulke sort of leers at her, and she feels like he's undressing her with his eyes. And he tells her that she is his for the night, and then he calls her a gilded pet. And he's like, come on, like, gilded pet, it's time to celebrate. And her just spirit completely drops. Like, she is not happy.
Fair.
Yeah.
But obviously she has to go over, so she sits on the armrest of his throne, and he has her feeding him, because of course he does. And while she's feeding him, he's sucking her fingers into his mouth. And obviously it's gross, but he says that her gold skin makes the food taste richer.
Not
like, this is just all about like her being an object, her being gold. Like, it's I hate it.
But like no, never mind. I just can't.
That's fair. He feeds her a piece of meat, and at first she doesn't want it. Like, she doesn't want him to, but like, she has to. She's got to be a good girl. So she takes it, but she doesn't let him shove his fingers into her mouth. And he's just like, he calls her naughty because of that. And that makes Midas look over, even though he's just been ignoring her this entire time she's been sitting with Fulke. But I hate it so much. I hate it. But Fulke does say that her being naughty will make for a titillating evening.
Ugh.
Like, of course he does.
Yeah, he wants the resistance.
Yeah.
So, like,
I hate it.
He wants to rape her.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it to be consensual.
Yeah.
So I feel like if she, like, turned it on even more, he would be like, no, I'm not here for it anymore.
Yeah. So he keeps feeding her, and he replicates his wine glass, because that's his power, and gets the servant to fill them up, and he makes a toast to tonight, which is, ugh. And then he points to his cheek, which, like, I just found this was kind of tame for him, I guess. But he just points to his cheek and wants her to kiss it. And she doesn't. So he hauls her to him by her ear and, like, touches her lips off of his cheek and says, "That wasn't so hard, was it?" And she pulls away so violently that she almost falls off the back of the throne. So he grabs her and says, like, no need to go to her knees for him yet, because of course. And she's so done with all of this, unsurprisingly, and just wants to go back to her rooms. And he says that she's not close enough and pulls her into his lap. And he puts her hand on his crotch.
Yeah.
And he just holds her hand there as he starts to harden. And it's just like, ugh. Topless Risa comes over and asks if he wants her to dance for him, and he nods. But it gets him to release Auren's hand. And she kind of thinks, like, this is what she was trying to do for Risa when she threw a book in her face. She was trying to get her out of the situation. Yeah. Kind of like Risa just did for her unintentionally. Risa's not trying to help her here, but she just did.
Do we know that for sure?
I guess we don't know that for sure, but she hates her. All of the Saddles hate her. Or at least that's her interpretation. So.
I know, but, like, it just seems like there's no way she would have just gone up to him and was like right at that exact moment. It just seems convenient.
Yeah, but I really think, well, Auren thinks that, like, she's just jealous of the attention that Auren, like, Risa's jealous of the attention that Auren's getting, is what it kind of seems like.
Maybe.
But, yeah. If she did it to get her out of the situation, then amazing. But I don't know if we'll ever know for sure.
Okay.
So yeah. Fulke tells her to watch Risa to learn how to please a man. And Auren is just like, yeah, because that's the only job for women, Saddles or otherwise. That's their sole purpose, is pleasing a man. And, like, she kind of thinks it, like, sarcastically, and I'm like, but it's true in this, like, in this world. Like, that's what's happening. Yeah. Like, I fucking... Like, she has more bite than I would have expected.
But it seems like the bite is internal.
Yeah, like, not...
She doesn't voice her... She doesn't voice anything.
No. Risa looks at Auren then, and Auren says it's to see if Auren is jealous of him complimenting Risa. But she thinks that she's not, because obviously Risa just gave her a reprieve. And Auren can see that, like, her nose is swollen and she has a lot of makeup on that's likely hiding a black eye. And Auren kind of admires how Risa is beautiful and confident, and she's able to make herself whatever anyone wants her to be. So, like, she sees that there's some power in the way that Risa can control, like, the men around her by being sexual.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
But listen, but it's one of those things, right? Like, some people, you know, like, it's one of those things where there's been all these talks about destigmatizing and legal decriminalizing. Thank you. I was trying to come up with the word. Sex work, because like it is for some people a career choice, and like some people are really good at it, and some people do enjoy it as, like, you know. I know in the media and sort of historically, sex work has sort of been one of these things that's been demonized and sort of has been shown to be one of those things like, oh, that, you know, that poor homeless person can't afford dinner, so what are they going to do? They're going to sell their body so that they can, like, earn a little bit of cash for their to eat or something like that. That's how it's portrayed in the media, that it is like a last resort for everybody. But like I don't think that's true. I've read some books, and I've read some articles and stuff where sex workers are coming out, like, anonymously now, and saying, like, I enjoy my work, I have a full life, like, and this is what I do for work, and like it's the same for everybody else, and it's actually one of the oldest professions that are, like, in history. So like maybe Rissa is one of these people where, like, it's something that she is good at, and, you know, maybe like it was a choice. Like, maybe like her being chosen to be a royal saddle, maybe that is like a choice for her, and maybe she did want this for her life. So like I feel like in this world, especially, yes, obviously it seems like women are very much commodities. Women are bought and sold. Like, it is not a good look. Yeah. But, like, I think, therefore, thinking that, like, all sex work ever is not chosen. Like, and for sure, in some cases, there is sex trafficking. But there is, like, you know, pimps that are, like, mistreating people and forcing people into sex work and all that sort of thing. That exists. But there is also another side to it where there are people that are you know, choose it and are good at their job.
Yeah, it is interesting too, because, like, obviously, yes, a lot of the prevailing opinion media and stuff like that do show it as, like, the last resort, like you said. But it's also shown in a lot of the books we read, too, that this is the last resort. Which, like, I don't really, like, I think we kind of need to get away from that, too. Like, I get it. It does show how shitty of a situation you were in. But it does feel like it's something that we should be moving away from.
Yes. Agreed.
Because, like, there are people who do it and enjoy it, and that is their job. And if they're happy, then...
Yeah. It's all about, like, what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I do appreciate that, like, we are seeing that it has its own kind of power in this book, and also that I did wonder, because, like I said, I don't fucking remember this storyline of Fulke at all. I think I said that last week. I don't remember Midas selling her to Fulke, and I was like, I can't remember where this is going, because I really think I would remember if there was just, like, a bunch of rape in the book. But anyway, we get there this week. But I did wonder if she was going to be, like, empowered by Risa's confidence to be able to, like, control the situation somehow. Yeah. It's not really where we go. And I think part of that is, like we said, she's kind of stunted in who she is as a person. She hasn't been able to flourish as a person. Flourish.
As a Persian.
Or as a Persian. It's because I said floor instead of flourish.
I love that for you.
Anyway, I do too. So, Fulke just gets her to sit on the floor, like, at his feet. And people are more bold and, like, gawk and stuff. And it's like, of course they are. And then Fulke, Midas, and some of the other men are talking about new routes for the Fourth Kingdom's mines. And she just thinks, like, how greedy they all are to be, like, discussing what they're going to do with the mines in Fourth now that, like, it's just, yeah, greedy motherfuckers. And
which is,
Fulke pets
can
her.
I just say, it's totally a prevailing systemic issue, right? Like, that is a society thing that we are dealing with right now, is the rich just want more wealth, while everybody else is just trying to get along. Yeah. Like, that's happening in our world today.
Yeah.
Like, Billie Eilish literally called people out, like, 2 weeks ago and said, like, if you're all millionaires and billionaires, like, give away a little bit. You'll still be super rich, and you're just, like, helping the rest of us out. Like,
yeah.
So, anyway, it's just...
Yeah, it's not the billionaires that are giving their money in the most cases.
Correct. And, like, this is the one thing that I do like about, especially about the fact that we go into the books, because I don't always notice it if I'm just doing a straight read through, but, like, showcasing the, like, it's almost like the books are a snapshot of the societal issues that we are facing at a point in time. You know what I mean? Like, this has it all, like, a lot of greed, disenfranchising women, like, you know, it is realistically showing this, like, microcosm of where we are as a society, and it's, like, reflecting them back. Yeah, it's totally incorporating them in a different, like, through a different lens, but it still is demonstrating, like, these are the issues that we are facing just in a dystopian sort of society, like, world. And I really like that that's one of the things I really like about reading, is seeing those sort of problems in other ways.
Yeah. And usually in the books we read, there's, like, some kind of solution, even though in the real world maybe there isn't as much. Well, there are solutions, they just don't happen. Which kind of comes into the next part, because Fulke, like, pets her hair and says a dozen strands of her hair must be worth a month's wages to, like, the peasants.
Yeah.
And it's just so nonchalant about poorer people that you're like, oh yeah, this is just wild. I hate it. Midas just says, and she can tell that he's possessive, but he doesn't step in and he doesn't say anything. And she feels a tiny fissure in the 10-year foundation of reliance and trust between them. And I'm like, oh my God, thank fuck.
Yeah, she's finally,
because, like, obviously, we're reading this. We know he's a piece of shit, but she needs to realize that herself. And it's starting. So Risa starts rubbing Fulke's shoulders, and she's, like, teasing him, but then a lot of the men watching too. And I guess this is when Auren kind of realizes that, like, Risa's very good at this. And she says it to her. It, like, whispers to her, and Risa just says, yeah, I'm a saddle. And that kind of, for me, took a bit of the power away from it. Because, like, she's completely reduced to her job here and her purpose as, like, a saddle for these men.
But also, like, Auren being like, you're really good at that, and saying, yeah, I'm a saddle, like, this is what I do, it sort of highlights that, like, Auren hasn't really been treated like a saddle. Like, her title is saddle, but she has not had to do what the other saddles have had to do.
Yeah. Which she does recognize, and she appreciates it, but I don't think she has enough compassion for the other saddles.
No.
I don't remember if she gets more. So Fulke just says that they'll retire now because he wants to be buried in her golden cunt this hour. And since Midas wants her back before dawn, he doesn't have much time. So he tells Risa to go on because he doesn't need her. And then Fulke says goodnight to Midas. And Midas just says enjoy. And I'm just like, ew. Don't you love her? Isn't that your whole point?
Yes.
Ew. So they leave. And of course, people in the crowd just start yelling out lewd things like, ride the golden saddle good and fuck the gold right out of her.
Yeah.
Like, why are people like
why
this?
Why are people so, like, derogatory? Like, why?
Yeah. Like, this happened in A Fate Inked in Blood, too. When, like, the king was, like, going to his marriage bed.
Yeah.
They were like, fuck her good. It's like, ugh. It's exhausting. So Fulke slaps her ass then. And she's just so done. She wonders how she's supposed to get through this. And then she's just like, you know what? I'm not going to get through this. She thinks she doesn't want this man to touch her. And she doesn't care that he's a king and that her king offered her. She thinks, like, Midas can't ask this of her. So she stops walking. And
yes!
It takes them a minute. Yeah. It takes them a minute, but Fulke tells her to come and calls her pet. And she says no. And everything goes silent. And she says that she's the king's favored, and despite what she looks like, she is not a coin to be spent.
Valid point!
And it gets 100%. It gets even more quiet. And Fulke just full-on smacks her in the face. And he holds her by, like, the front of her dress. Otherwise, she would have fallen over from the hit, which is awful. And Midas is coming over, and Fulke says that he should have her head for this. But Midas just says that he gave him her cunt, not her head. And Auren is just crying from the hit. And she asks Midas if she's worth more than this. And this is one of those moments where, like, Midas says things, and you're like, it's the manipulation. Because Midas says that she's worth more than all the gold in the castle. Which is like,
that's nice.
That's a nice thing to say. But then he says he still owns her and will spend her how he sees fit. Gross. And her heart just shatters. And she wants to say that he promised to keep her safe, and he said that she'd have his heart, but she just stays silent. And she kind of looks at him and, like, begs him to understand that. But Midas just says to Fulke to excuse her innocence because he spoiled her, but she won't misbehave again. And Midas tells the guards to escort Auren to Fulke's room. And she yells no and tries to get away, but guards grab her. And Fulke tells her to be quiet or he'll belt her until her golden skin is welted. And she does shut up, but she knows, like, she's not really sure if he's not going to punish her anyway. Which is like, he's not allowed to, but I guess it doesn't fucking matter. Midas doesn't
Well, but,
care.
like, if she's his for the evening, then realistically, he could do whatever he wants behind closed doors.
Yeah, like, who's stopping him from chopping her head off at the end of the night?
Well, Midas, I guess, isn't gonna... Well, but I feel like Digby is gonna go...
Watch. I know, but it kind of, yes.
Yeah, I do think Digby is going along. Like, I don't think they're leaving her alone.
No, probably not. So I guess they get out into, like, outside of the room, but one of Fulke's soldiers comes running into the castle and sees Fulke, and he says that he's coming from the fourth border. And they ask where Gromes is, and the soldier says that the messenger was killed in action, and the general attempted to send 2 others, but he was the only one that managed to get back because he flew on a timber wing. I'm like, what's a timber wing? I'm excited. Is this a dragon type creature? Like, what do we have?
Can we add to the dragons, please?
Yeah. Midas appears then with 6 guards, because of course 6, and says that they should speak in private. And Auren's kind of like, oh, maybe I can get away, but they force her to go too. So Fulke asks the soldier what's going on, and the soldier asks to speak to him in private. And Fulke just is like, why? Are you a traitor? Did you defect? But he says, no, and Fulke demands that he explains. So the soldier says that as soon as Fulke's army breached Forth's borders, King Ravenger's men attacked and decimated his entire fleet. And Fulke is just like, no, you're wrong. We broke through Forth's lines this morning and took Clefham. And his army, with 6th, was victorious, and negotiations are already in place. So that's what they heard this morning.
It's why they're having a ball.
Exactly. But the messenger says, no, they didn't take Cliffhelm. And Ravenger's training outpost was full of soldiers, and they didn't breach the wall, and the entire division was taken out. And Auren knows that something is very wrong here. She's like, we were celebrating a win right now. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then the soldiers looking at Midas, and Fulke and his guards are just like, what are you talking about? We know this isn't true. But the messenger says, or the soldier says, that they didn't overtake King Midas's men because Fulke's soldiers were there alone. And the earlier messages were a deceit because Midas betrayed him. And Fulke just says that he must be mistaken. And Midas just says he's not. Which I do kind of love.
Yeah, so, like, this is the part where we're supposed to be like, oh, shit. And, like, I do think that Midas is, like, super intelligent. Because, like, to have planned all of this is wild.
Yeah. And I guess this is why I didn't remember it. But it is like, he brought her to breakfast that day to manipulate Fulke.
Yeah.
And to start this whole thing, which is just wild. He's good at manipulating people, that's for sure. So Fulke asks if he betrayed him, and Fulke's guards, like, grab their swords. And Midas says, let this be your last lesson. True kings don't give out their armies for cunts.
Which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like that.
It is ridiculous.
Like, I don't like Midas at all. But I do sort of appreciate this. You're right. You should not give out your kingdom's resources so you can have a shag.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't sacrifice. He essentially sacrificed some of his men to die because there's always casualties in war so that he could have sex.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep. It's, wild. So, Fulke then says you were never going to take Forth's kingdom. And Midas laughs and agrees and says you don't attack Forth. King Ravenger decimates anyone who dares. And Auren kind of realizes that Midas has been planning this for ages. Because I think it was last week she was saying that, like, Fulke comes, like, 2 times a year or something and, like, gets with a whole bunch of shit that Midas turns gold. And then he takes back to his place and duplicates it. And she was like, I don't know what Midas gets out of this alliance. But she's like, this is what he's getting out of the alliance. Like, this is why he kept him around as an ally. And she thinks, like, he hasn't just been giving Fulke gold. He was moving gold over there because it's going to be his soon.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate how smart she is.
Yeah, I love that she referenced, she was like, he's just using Fifth Kingdom as an extra vault. So, like, the stuff over there is all still his.
Yeah. I appreciate that she realized that, because I don't, and, like, I get she knows Midas, she knows how his mind works better than we do, but, like, I wouldn't have realized that on my own, I don't think. So, yeah. She thinks, like, 2 kings aren't going to walk out of here today. And Fulke says that Midas did all of this so he could invade 5th. And then they just start brawling. Auren is pushed over, and she's on the floor, and she, like, hit her face. And the battle and blood is, like, PTSD inducing for her. And she thinks of 10 years ago when raiders attacked and took everything. And she thinks they pillaged the village, they burned the Sterns, they hail to no king, but they'll bow for a ring. And she thinks that those are just, like, silly lyrics that, like, are stuck in her head now. And I'm like, it's definitely going to be something in one of these books. Like, something's going to come from that. I'm like, they hail no king, but they'll bow for a ring.
So, like,
is it going to be Lord of the Rings? Not
that's
really,
not what I was.
That's what
I was thinking, like, do they not? Will they not? They won't, like, they won't honor a king, but they honor their wife.
Yeah.
Which doesn't say, like, suggests a level of devotion that you wouldn't think
anyone here would have.
Well, you wouldn't think if they're pillaging a village, they're not going to be like, oh, but my wife.
Yeah. I did kind of wonder if it was like they don't respect kings, because it seems like you become a king because you have a power.
Yes.
And you marry into a family. And I'm like, is somebody going to have a ring or something? Like, is it, I don't know. I guess we'll see if something happens later. So she covers her ears, and she's kind of going between, like, the past and the present. And she looks up, and she can see that the door's there. So she's like, I'm just going to try to get the fuck out of here. But a body falls on her, and her face slams into the ground. And she has to push the person off and realizes that they don't have a head.
Yikes.
So, yeah, that's going to help her PTSD, I'm sure. Then Fulke pulls her up and puts a blade to her throat and says that if Midas is going to kill him, he'll take his gilded bitch with him. And he, like, cuts into her neck because he's shaking. And she looks around, and all of Fulke's men, including the messenger, are dead. And 3 of Midas's men are dead too. And 2 of Midas's guards are by his sides. And I'm like, well, there's 1 guard left, because you said he had 6. I'm like, is this why you brought up the 6 before?
Yes.
But Midas looks at her, and she closes her eyes because she doesn't want to, like, watch him have to watch her die.
Yeah, which is...
that's, like, ugh. She cares about him too much. I hate it. So she takes one last breath, and the blade is digging deeper. But then Fulke's is like slammed to the ground, and Auren is hauled to the side by Digby. And she forgot that he was even here. But we're like, yay, Digby. He stabbed Fulke in the chest, and Fulke is just like flailing on the floor, and he's like grabbing at the blade, but he's just cutting his hands up. And he ends up dying like that. And Auren starts to shake, and she just like turns into Digby and like holds him and thanks him over and over again for saving her life, because she really thought that she was gonna die. Then she's kind of in shock now, unsurprisingly, and she kind of hears Midas say, take her to her room, and Digby picks her up, and she's just like, you have blood on you, I have blood on me.
Yeah, she's full on in shock.
Oh, so much. And she says that she needs a bright side, because that's like her thing, is she's always trying to find a bright side in everything. And she thinks like she didn't get raped or murdered. And Digby doesn't say anything, but she says, you killed a king for me. And Digby just grunts. I absolutely did not remember that this happened, but maybe Digby is a good guy, because I was like, does he turn out to be bad?
I think Digby is... I don't think I have an issue with Digby.
I don't remember anything about this book, apparently. Because you were like, he's like a father figure in this book, and I was like, is he? I thought he was a piece of shit, but like he just killed a king for her, so I don't think he is.
Digby's a bad guy.
No. So she just closes her eyes for a second, but then when she opens them, he's laying her in her bed, and he just leaves. And she's like, oh shit, must have fallen asleep. So she just lies there, and she thinks that she was going to be raped by a king tonight, but the king was killed, and a blade was shoved through his chest, and his blood is all over her, and she can still feel his breath on her neck, and the night is like crushing in on her, and she wonders if she did something in a past life to offend a goddess, or if she's so hidden from them with the snow and Styx that the stars haven't been able to see her. And for the next hour, she wonders, with the blood of a dead king on her shoes and a shallow wound at her throat. So I feel like she just feels like she's been abandoned by what she calls the goddesses, which does make me wonder if there's like, are they going to turn out to be real? Like we said last week, they don't come up in the first 3 books, I don't think. Unless they did, and I just don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember there being, like, a very big lore around deities in this book. Like, it's not the focus. Now, that's not to say it's not... doesn't happen, but, like...
Yeah.
I don't super remember...
Yeah, I just feel like she brings it up too often for it to just be nothing. But I don't know. So, that's helpful. But yeah, that's where we end off this week. So, you know, he did have a plan, I guess.
Yeah, so he wasn't actually going to let her be raped at all, maybe? But was he?
What? Because if the guard didn't show up at that exact moment...
Would he have let her go to her demise?
Yeah, like, I don't know. He's not a good guy.
No. And we are gonna, like, sort of get the story next week of, like, what his plan was. Like, we're gonna get it.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet, so I don't really...
But, like, but again, what he says his plan is and what his plan actually is can be 2 very different things.
Yes. We are in Auren's point of view. We don't get anything from his point of view of like, oh, that was lucky that he showed up just at this time.
Or like, you know, maybe he was gonna come for him while he was dick deep in. You know what I mean? Like, we have no idea.
No, we don't.
So.
Yeah. So I guess that's where we're going to wrap it up this week. If you want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, please reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com or on Instagram or Facebook at coffeeandcoread and coffee.coread on TikTok.
So next week we will be reading Gild, chapters 14 to 19. So make sure to follow along. And if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next page.